Hey guys, YouTube World here. Okay, and here we go. Now, as I promised, now I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the War Games matches last night at Survivor Series. So, like I said before, when I found out about WWE finally bringing the War Games match to the main roster here at Survivor Series, I was really looking forward to it. I mean, like a lot of other people, I really have been clamoring for WWE to finally bring back the War Games match. Yeah, and like I said, they've had it on NXT like the last few years, but yeah, now it's like come to the big time. Now it's finally on the main roster. Yeah, and like a lot of people, I really was looking forward to it. I mean, like if you watch my video when I was talking about like how I felt about it, I really was looking forward to it. Well, and I was also like kind of a concern. Well, I guess I shouldn't really say concern, but like wondering how WWE really was gonna handle War Games. Yeah, uh, and after like looking through like all the War Games matches I just did, and like see and just like making the reviews for all these War Games matches I've talked about. It really did kind of like rise my anticipation because yeah, after like seeing like all these War Games matches, I really was like really like looking forward to finally seeing it done in the WWE. Yeah, and I did watch Survivor Series last night, and yeah, and I'm really only going to be talking about the two War Games matches is that happened last night. I'm not really going to talk about like any of the other matches. I'm really just going to focus on War Games. Yeah. Yeah. And how did I feel about the two War Games matches last night? Well, I gotta say, they were pretty great matches. Yeah, I mean, WWE really did a good job of really like handling these matches and really like bringing War Games to the main roster. Yeah, these were like a yeah, these were really great matches last night, and I really did enjoy both of them a lot. Yeah. So there were, of course, two War Games matches last night. There was a women's War Games and there was a men's War Games. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting. The women's War Games match opened up the show, and the men's War Games match main evented. So yeah, so I thought it was kind of clever that they did that. They opened the show with a War Games match and they ended it with a War Games match. They have kind of done that like with some of like the Elimination Chamber pay-per-views. Like at No Way Out 2009, they did that where they opened the show with an Elimination Chamber and closed it with an Elimination Chamber. And yeah, and even at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, they've done that a lot too. Yeah, so I thought it was clever that they did that with the War Games matches here. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, these two War Games matches were really great to watch. So yeah, so I said like when I was talking about how I felt about WWE bringing the War Games match to the main roster, how like I wasn't sure if WWE really was like gonna like change it up at all, and yeah, and it turns out that's what they did. Yeah, so these two matches last night they didn't really follow like the original War Games format. Yeah, yeah, and plus also like for the War Games matches last night, like the cage that they used, like the cage didn't have a top. Yeah. So so admittedly, like I wasn't it kind of did bother me that they didn't have a top because that's how War Games always was in the WCW. Like the cage always had a top to ensure that nobody could get out. You know. Yeah. Now, last night they did say that if anybody actually did climb out of the cage, that their their entire team would forfeit the match. So yeah, so they did kind of enforce a rule that to ensure that nobody would get out. But at the same time, it did kind of bother me because it kind of did seem like WWE really was just too trusting. Because there's been a lot of times where like superstars really just like don't even bother to listen to the rules and they do the stuff anyway. Yeah, so I don't know. I felt that that was kind of like WWE really was just too trusting with that. I really would have like preferred that they still did have a cage, the cage have a top just to ensure that nobody got out. But yeah, they didn't have a top last night. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, they still did have the two rings, just like WCW always did with a War Games match. Match, yeah, But something that I found kind of like strange about it was that WWE put like a piece of steel over the gap between the two rings. So I found that like kind of a strange. Like I don't know if they just like wanted to prevent anybody from like slipping between the gap between the two rings. But yeah, I just still found it kind of odd because WCW never did that. Yeah. And yeah, and WWE also did kind of like change up the rules for the two War Games matches last night. Like uh like they did like have like still have the first period in War Games last for 2 minutes. I mean 5 minutes rather, yeah. But then yeah, then like after the first 5 minute period, then rather than having every other period last 2 minutes, every period lasted 3 minutes before another superstar would enter the match. Yeah. And also, unlike WCW, they didn't like have a coin toss to determine who would have the one man advantage. Like that was like determined like on SmackDown on Friday. Like that was really to determine who would have the one man advantage or one person advantage, I guess I should say, because there was also a women's War Games match last night. Which team would have the one person advantage? Yeah, yeah. And something else that I found like kind of strange was that rather than just like having the combatants just being like at a ringside just right outside the cage, or having them like just wait in the back until it was their time to come out. Instead, like during the match, like they had like all the combatants like locked up in like these like shark cage like structures, like right outside of the entranceway until it was their time to come out. So I found that just to be kind of strange. Like, why didn't they just like do it like WCW did, like either having the combatants like at ringside or just having them wait in the back? So yeah, I found that kind of strange. But yeah, then once everybody was in the match, then like the match beyond would start, and instead of like having it end by either submission or surrender, instead they just had the match like be like ended by either pinfall or submission. So yeah, so they like included pinfalls in this match. Yeah. And I don't know. I think I do still like for the old WCW format where it was submission or surrender, because I don't know. I mean, just having it end by pinfall, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really care for that too much. I really did like the surrender submission because it gave War Games like some distinction, and here they just kind of like made it just like a normal end for the match. Yeah. So yeah, so those are some like changes that the WWE did make to the War Games matches last night. But yeah, I still did enjoy both War Games matches. Like both War Games matches were really great last night. Yeah, so I haven't seen any of the NXT War Games matches, so I don't know like how great those were. But yeah, these really were like great matches last night, and they really could be like up with like some of the War Games matches I talked about, like some of the earlier ones, and such as the Wrestle War '91 match and stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't really say they're as good as like the Great American Bash 1987 Atlanta match or the Wrestle War '92 match, but yeah, these still are better than like quite a few War Games matches I have talked about. So yeah, so WWE really did great at like introducing War Games to the main roster. Yeah. All right, so yeah, so anyway, so I'm kind of rambling on here, so I'll just talk about like the two matches last night. All right, so the women's War Games match, it had Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control, which of course consisted of Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, along with Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley. And yeah, this really was like really great. Like I don't know if like WWE is now like making the cages like more durable, because whenever they're like someone got like thrown into the cage, like it just seemed more durable. Like they didn't really seem to like bounce off of the cage like they used to before. Yeah, and there was like a lot of weapon use in this match. Like whenever like it was like someone's turn to come down, like well not whenever, but I'll like multiple times, like before they actually did get into the cage, they did get some weapons from under the ring and throw them in. Like there was like Nikki Cross like brought in like a lot of weapons, like some kendo sticks and trash can lids and such. Yeah. Then there was also like trash cans like brought into the match, as well as tables. Yeah. So there was like a lot of weapon use in this match. Yeah, and the women really did like great in this match. Like there are like some people that really have been like saying how like they think it's stupid how like uh like the women now are in like steel cage matches and ladder matches and elimination chambers and pretty much like all the matches that they really didn't used to be in that really were meant for the men. But I mean, I really do admire that WWE is really trying to now treat the women equal to the men by having them actually now participate in like all these special kind of matches. So yeah, so I do think that like I do admire WWE for at least now being fair to the women and not really just treating them like Barbie dolls and not really having them like compete in any special matches like that. So yeah, so I am glad that WWE really is doing that now. Yeah. Yeah, and there was like some moments where like somebody would climb to the top of the cage and then like dive off. There was this one point where Nikki Cross was kind of just like sitting at the top of the cage and then did a cross body onto everybody, knocking them down. Yeah, and yeah, there was like and like I said, there was like a lot of weapon use in this match. There was this one point where somebody like tried to hit Bianca Belair with a kendo stick. Forgot who. Yeah, then Bianca just grabbed the kendo stick and snapped it in half. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, this really was just a great match. Like there was like I said, a lot of weapon use with like trash cans and kendo sticks and a whole bunch of stuff here. Yeah, yeah, and this really was like a great match right here. Like yeah, I mean, all 10 women really did great in the match. Match right here, yeah. Now, yeah, and then yeah, then in the end, the uh Bailey, I mean not Bailey, yeah, Bianca, Becky, Alexa, uh, Asuka, and Mia ended up winning the match. I think after Becky ended up pinning, I forgot if it was Bailey or another one of the damage control women, but yeah, the face women ended up winning this match. Yeah, so yeah, there was like a lot of great stuff in the match. Like there was a lot of high flying, a lot of like great spots, and good use of the cage. And yeah, I mean, just yeah, this is probably like one of the best women's matches WWE really has like had in a while. Like this really was just like so great. And yeah, and this really is an example of like how great the women's division really is now. Like I know there are like people out there that are really gonna say like, oh, the divas suck and this is horrible and all that other crap hating on women. But yeah, this really was like a great match, and yeah, the women really did awesome in this match. Yeah, so really did enjoy it, and I was surprised like how long this actually lasted. Like this match lasted like 40 minutes, so just whoa. Like you don't really see a women's match really lasting that long. So yeah, this really was just like an awesome match, and I really did enjoy it a lot. Yeah, and now moving on to the men's War Games match. Yeah, for this match, you had the Bloodline, which consisted of Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, the Usos, and Solo Sikoa, versus the Brawling Brutes, which was Sheamus, Rich Holland, and Butch, along with Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. And yeah, this match was really awesome too. Like seriously, this really was just like really great as well. So like the women's one, like there was like a lot of weapons used in this match. There were like tables, a chair, some trash cans. Like yeah, there really was just like some weapon use in this match as well. Yeah, yeah. Like the story for this match really was great. Like of course there were like some doubts about Sami Zayn like actually being trusted by the Bloodline, particularly Jey Uso. Like he was really like questioning Sami Zayn's loyalty to the Bloodline, yeah. And of course like with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn like being like friends for like 25 years or so. Like it showed on SmackDown how Kevin Owens really was like trying to pursue Sami Zayn to really turn on the Bloodline before they turn on him. Yeah. So yeah. So people really were like questioning Sami Zayn's loyalty in this match and and if he could really be trusted. Yeah, but yeah, he really was great. Like the two to start this match were it was Jay Uso and I think it was Butch starting the match. Yeah, yeah, they really did great. And then yeah, then when it was when it was time for the Bloodline to send in like their next guy, like at first Jimmy was going to go in, but then Roman just like stopped him and had Sammy go in instead. Since like they've like since Jay and Sammy really haven't like seen eye to eye and they haven't really like gotten along. But yeah, he like Roman sent Sammy in first to actually like prove his loyalty. Yeah, and like I said, like there were like a lot of awesome spots in this match as well. Like it told a great story where like once again there was like some use of the cage in this match and stuff and yeah and like I said a lot of weapon use like they brought in like 4 tables when Jimmy Uso got involved in the match. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah then like there was just like a whole bunch of like spots in the match. Like there was like this point in the match where like uh, Drew McIntyre, or was it Roman Reigns? Yeah, it was Roman Reigns. Yeah, it showed how like Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns like went at it because of their history, like dating back to the Royal Rumble, not this past year, but the year before. Yeah, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns went at it. Yeah, then it showed how like when Solo Sokoa like was in the match, it showed how like he couldn't really seem to get knocked down by anything. Like there was like points where like Drew McIntyre kept like ramming him and like hitting him with like a big boot and stuff, but it didn't like take him down. Yeah, and I noticed last night that like Solo Sokoa wasn't actually like wearing boots or anything for the match. Like all he had were like slings for his ankles. So yeah, so he technically did compete barefoot. So yeah, is WWE now lifting like the ban for like guys competing barefoot? Like, of course, like Riddle is like competing barefoot now, and of course, like this this past year at the Elimination Chamber event, it showed how like Ronda Rousey competed barefoot in the gi that she wore. So I don't know, like is WWE starting to like lift that ban on barefoot competition now, especially with Solo Sokoa competing like technically barefoot in the match. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, is WWE finally coming to their senses that people are not going to constantly like hurt their feet? I mean, they've had this going on ever since Rusev fractured his foot years ago. So are they finally gonna lift that ban and people will start to compete barefoot? Like I know Ronda Rousey said that she actually did want to compete barefoot in the WWE, but WWE like didn't allow it. And I know Asuka also used to compete barefoot before she entered in the WWE. So I don't know. Is WWE lifting this ban? So I don't know. But anyway, yeah, let's not get sidetracked. Yeah, this was still like an awesome match right here. Like there was this one point where Kevin Owens then hit a stunner on Solo Sokoa. Yeah. Then when it looked like Kevin Owens did actually have the match won against Roman Reigns, like before the referee could count to 3, Sami Zayn just like held the referee's arm to stop him from counting down to 3. Yeah. Then uh, as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were starting to exchange words, then it showed how like one of the Usos, forgot which one, tried to go after Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens like was able to dodge the attack. But then Sami Zayn then hit Kevin Owens with a low blow, and then and like nailed Sami Zayn. I mean nailed Kevin Owens. And then Jey Uso, I believe, then got a splash on Kevin Owens and was able to pin him. So yeah, so the Bloodline ended up winning, and yeah, and this like signified Sami Zayn's like true loyalty to the Bloodline, especially now with like him like just like turning on Kevin Owens like after like all they've been through the last like 20 plus years. Yeah, I really get the feeling like there is really going to be more or of this between like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Yeah, and plus also like of course like at some point you know that Sami Zayn is really like eventually going to split from the bloodline. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see like more like of what is to come of this. Like how long will all this go on with Sami Zayn and the bloodline? And and uh, how it'll work with like him splitting away from it. So yeah, so it should be interesting to see what does come of this. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, these both of these War Games matches last night, they were really really awesome. Awesome. Like I said, WWE really did great at really bringing this match to the main roster, and yeah, and this really was a great introduction for War Games in the WWE. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, Triple H really has just been doing like a really great at really like just like really uh, like really like bringing the product up and really like making new introductions like and everything that he's been doing the last few months ever since like he's taken over from men's. I've already talked about this before, so yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what else Triple H really does like do to really like keep this like all this stuff going and really like really like up the product even more. Or yeah, and we'll just see like how much more Triple H really does do. But yeah, I'm glad that Triple H did finally bring War Games to the main roster. Yeah, and both these matches just were awesome introductions to War Games in the WWE. So yeah, so I would definitely say these matches are worth watching if you didn't watch them last night. Yeah. So give these matches a watch and see. Yeah. And I guess like one more thing I'll mention, like at least like last night, like when they like said that they like include pinfalls in the War Games matches. Yeah. At least they still kept it where like the match couldn't end until like all the combatants got in. So yeah, it's much better than like what WCW did at Fall Brawl 1998 by having pinfalls be able to be made at any point in the match and the match could end. So yeah, so I am glad that WWE like at least kept it until like all the combatants got in before like anybody could go for pins. So yeah, so they did a better job at that than WCW did. Yeah. So despite the fact that I wasn't really like too crazy about pinfalls being included in this match, WWE at least did it in a better way than WCW did in 1998. Yeah. All right, but yeah, these War Games matches, like, they were really great, and yeah, and who knows? I mean, is this going to become an annual thing? Like, are they going to have War Games every year at Survivor Series now, or will they just will the War Games match just be like something where like it can happen at any pay per view, like a steel cage and a ladder match and all that stuff? And yeah, and I've heard like they're getting rid of the Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chamber pay per views. Thank goodness. Yeah. So yeah. So it looks. So will those matches also go back to being able to happen at any time rather than like having a pay per view like made for them? So yeah. So hopefully that is the case, and we'll see what happens with War Games in the future and how often WWE will have them. All right. But yeah. So I guess that's all I really have to say about it. All right. So those are my thoughts on the War Games matches last night Survivor Series. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. So yeah, and stay tuned because I got some more stuff coming in. Yeah, December is almost here. So yeah, so got some stuff coming for December also. Not just like Christmas stuff, but other stuff as well. So stay tuned for that coming. All right. But hope you guys did enjoy this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.